Now, you started as a radio, disc jockey, as you said. When you were, spinning platters and making with the banter, did you ever think the President of the United States would be celebrating your unemployment?
For those who think I go too hard on Donald Trump, to the point where there are still a lot of people who think I should be pulled off the air for making fun of Donald Trump. So I want to explain, I talk about Trump more than anything because he's a bully. I don't like bullies. I played the clarinet in high school, okay? So I just don't like him. Donald Trump is an old-fashioned 80s movie-style bully, taking your lunch money. And if you give it to him once, he'll take it again. And he'll stuff you in a locker, and he'll stomp on your trapper keeper and slam the door. That is Donald Trump. Okay?
And yet, when Donald Trump repeatedly lies or cheats or shows utter disregard for our Constitution or just insults people, when he calls service members who died in battle losers, or fellow citizens vermin, or the enemy within, people make excuses for it. They say, well, he's not serious. He's not. Everything a president says is serious.
You won't believe how differently Jimmy Kimmel and Barack Obama took on Donald Trump, yet somehow landed the same result. One used sharp comedy in real time, the other delivered calm, calculated humor that slowly turned the room in his favor. Different stages, different moments, but the impact always felt familiar. Whether it was Kimmel reading Trump's own posts live or Obama dismantling conspiracy talk with a smile, the pattern kept repeating. To really understand it, you have to rewind and see how the story began.
So I get it. What I cannot understand is why anyone would think that Donald Trump will shake things up in a way that is good for you. That I don't understand. Because there is absolutely no evidence that this man thinks about anybody but himself. I've said it before. Donald Trump is a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down that golden escalator 9 years ago. And when he's not complaining, he's trying to sell you stuff. He's got his gold sneakers. He's got the $100,000 watch. Says it's a Swiss watch, but nobody can actually figure out where in Switzerland was this thing made.
I think unjustly, this puts them at risk. The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
Back in 2011, the White House Correspondents' dinner became more than just another political comedy night. Obama stepped up with a relaxed confidence and methodically addressed Trump's birther claims without raising his voice. The audience laughed, but the real tension came from the camera cuts showing Trump sitting silently. The jokes were simple, precise, and impossible to ignore. That evening quietly turned into one of the most talked about moments in modern political television.
Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac? All kidding aside, obviously we all know about the
your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night.
Fast forward to 2016, Obama returned for his final Correspondents' dinner appearance and delivered a closing performance that felt polished and intentional. Mixing humor with reflection, he balanced media jokes, policy references, and subtle digs with remarkable control. The famous Obama out mic drop became an instant cultural moment. It showed how humor could be sharp without ever becoming loud. By then, the style had become part of presidential pop culture history.
The Donald is not really a plans guy. He's not really a facts guy either. He calls himself a business guy, which is true, but I have to say I know plenty of businessmen and women who've achieved remarkable success without leaving a trail of lawsuits and unpaid workers and people feeling like they got cheated. Does anyone really believe that a guy who spent his 70 years on this earth showing no regard for working people is suddenly going to be your champion?
Then came the Oscars in March 2024. Hosting live, Jimmy Kimmel found himself responding to a Truth Social post from Trump criticizing the show and calling him the worst host. Instead of ignoring it, Kimmel read the message aloud and thanked Trump on air, turning criticism into comedy. The audience reaction made the moment explode online within minutes. Headlines followed almost instantly across entertainment and news outlets.
Everyone, I was just, doing this show is not about me, and I appreciate you having me. It's really about you and Emma and all these great actors and actresses and filmmakers. But I was told we have like an extra minute, and I'm really proud of something. I was wondering if I could share it with you. I just got a review, and has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Slopanopoulos. He would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous. Blah, blah, blah. Make America great again. Okay, now, see if you can guess which former president just posted that on Truth Social. Anyone? No? Well, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still, isn't it past your jail time?
What made the joke work was its simplicity. Kimmel didn't invent anything. He used Trump's own words and let the crowd react naturally. Obama had shown years earlier how humor could expose a narrative, while Kimmel demonstrated how to capture the reaction in real time. Each moment seemed to trigger the same cycle of responses and headlines. The rhythm repeated itself again and again, turning reactions into part of the performance.
ABC is dying. He was the worst host in the history of the Academy Awards. Remember I did that? Remember I wrote I put a Truth. Everybody should go to Truth immediately. And by the way, we also love Elon, I have to tell you. Gave me a big endorsement, big one. But remember in the Academy Awards, I said how he's the worst host in the history of the Academy Awards. And this stupid guy goes up, and just before the Best Picture of the Year, The show is almost over. They're waiting for the best picture of the year. He gets up and he says, and his wife said, please don't do it. Please, darling, don't go out. His manager said, don't do it. I have to do it. He goes out and reads my truth to the entire audience right before the best prime time, the best picture. And it said basically, he is the worst host of the history. He reads the whole thing. And then I think he said something like, ha, 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 he thinks he bothers me, or some crap like that. I said, he's one of the dumbest human beings ever. He should have listened to his wife. What a dope.
But the story took another turn in September 2025 when Jimmy Kimmel Live was temporarily pulled off air following a controversial monologue. Networks described it as an attempt to cool tensions, while critics debated whether it crossed into censorship. Trump publicly celebrated the suspension and pushed for stronger action against broadcasters who criticized him. The situation quickly became a larger conversation about free speech and media pressure. When the show returned, Kimmel addressed the controversy head-on.
As of this taping, the president has not weighed in on ABC's decision to put us back on the air. I don't know, maybe he's saving it for his late-night toilet time, but His Magnificence had other business today in New York, big business, addressing the United Nations, which got off to a rocky start when the Trumps hit the escalator, and it suddenly stopped. They had to walk up. He broke the escalator. Where was that escalator 10 years ago when we needed it on the way down?
During interviews afterward, Kimmel described receiving the cancellation news just before taping, with the audience already seated and production underway. Despite uncertainty, he recorded the episode anyway, unsure whether it would ever air. Industry reports later detailed how affiliates reacted differently, keeping the controversy alive even after reinstatement. His honesty about the chaos behind the scenes helped audiences connect with the moment. It revealed the difference between political messaging and a comedian simply doing his job.
Oh, why are folks making excuses for that? Oh, well, that's just him. No. There are consequences to these actions. They embolden other people to be cruel and divisive and racist. And it frays the fabric of our society. And it affects how our children see things. And it affects the ways that our families get along. It affects how the world looks at America. That behavior matters. Character matters. This guy is temperamentally unfit to be commander-in-chief, and he is not equipped to be president. And this should not be a controversial claim. It really shouldn't. I mean, it's strange how over time what is crazy gets normalized. And we just kind of assume, well, you know what? He said 100 crazy things, so the 101st thing we just don't even notice. He says he'll be his own foreign policy advisor. He says he can do that because he has a good brain. Now, that is contestable. Do you want somebody to be your voice who on tape brags about how being famous allows him to get away with sexual assault? Who calls women pigs or dogs or slobs and grades them on a scale of 1 to 10? That is not the voice of America. That's not the better angels of our nature. And we have a choice. We can choose that, or we can choose to teach our kids that our diversity is our strength. That women are full and equal citizens, capable of doing anything a man does. That our job, particularly when we have positions of authority, particularly when this country has blessed us, is to treat everybody with dignity, treat everybody with respect, to treat
everybody with generosity and kindness.
Looking back at Obama's performances helps explain why these moments resonate. His jokes relied on structure and timing rather than aggression, allowing facts to carry the humor. Instead of direct insults, he framed arguments in ways that made the audience reach the conclusion themselves. The delivery felt controlled, almost surgical. That discipline made the comedy memorable long after the event ended.
Yesterday, after threats from Trump's FCC chair,
When Kimmel's fast-paced style is placed next to Obama's measured approach, the contrast becomes clear. One leans into live audience energy, while the other relied on quiet precision. Yet both approaches highlighted the same gap between political image and public perception. The audience response often became part of the message itself. Comedy turned into commentary without needing explanation.
The moment that, because really the first people I texted when I got the news that we were pulled off the air, I came into my office and I told some people, and then I texted you and Jimmy and Seth and the two Johns to let you know what had happened.
Yeah.
But you were on stage at that time.
Yes. I was just finishing my show. When you're texting, I didn't get it from you. I was on stage. I just finished the show. It was a Wednesday night. We had a pretty good show. I was about to say, good night, join us tomorrow for Pete Parbuti and Adrienne Barbeau, or like whoever my guest was the next night. And Victor Buono. And some Victor Buono fans over there. Thank you. And my executive producer comes over and he goes, hey, I just got this text from Carrie. She thinks I think I'm right to show it to you.
During the controversy period, other late-night hosts also weighed in, turning the situation into a broader industry conversation. Guest appearances and crossover moments reinforced the idea that comedy shows were defending their right to challenge powerful figures. Coverage from major outlets framed it less as a personal feud and more as a cultural debate. The late-night world briefly felt like a shared stage. Each host added another layer to the ongoing narrative.
Is there something we need to know? Did we land on the moon?
It's crazy. Jerry told me that you should know.
Okay, Jimmy Kimmel's show has been pulled indefinitely by ABC. Wow. Wait, hold on one second. I'll be right back. I want to find out what this is about. I'll be right back. So, there's no signal in the Ed Sullivan Theater. So it didn't tell me why. There was no rationale given, just that you had been yanked. So I went backstage.
I did something stupid, right?
I generally assume that it's your fault.
Yeah.
I know you well enough to do that. So I went backstage and then I was like, oh, I don't know what this, I can't really tell why this happened, so we'll talk about it tomorrow. And then we did the whole next night was just about you.
In today's media environment, where reactions spread instantly online, Kimmel's style fits perfectly. Obama's era focused on televised moments, while Kimmel operates in a world driven by clips and social feeds. One taught audiences how political humor could work, the other adapted it for the digital age. The formula remains the same even as the platforms change. Timing and authenticity still decide whether a joke lasts.